Hello viewers, in this video I'll be providing a solution to a quiz problem from P2 to P3. So P2 is about real numbers and P3 is about integer exponents. So the first question is this. We have a set of real numbers and the question says list the numbers in A that are whole numbers, prime numbers, rational numbers, irrational numbers, multiplicative inverse of minus 1 over 3. So to, we need whole numbers. To list the whole numbers, we need to come to this set and see. This we can easily rewrite it as what? 11. So this is 1.14 is not a whole number, but 11 is a whole number. Then we'll write it as this one, which is the square root of 121. Now, if we look at this is nothing but minus 3, right? The cube root of minus 27. But minus 3 is not a whole number because it's a whole number is what? A whole number starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, right? They're all positive. Okay, then pi over 4 is not. So this is also another whole number because we have 0 over 5 is a whole number, which is just 0. Then 22 over 7 is not a whole number. This is also not a whole number. So when we get here, this is a whole number because absolute value of minus 51 is still 51. So this is another whole number. We have these two whole numbers. Then if we go to the prime numbers, what are prime numbers? Prime numbers are prime numbers are integers, right? We know what when we talk of prime numbers, they must be positive integers. They have to be positive integers and it must be bigger than 1. So it must be greater than 1 and also has two factors. It has only two factors, itself and 1. Now, root of what? Root of 121 is a prime number because 121, the root is 11. 11 is a prime number, is a positive integer. It is greater than 1 and it has only two factors. Now, minus root 3, minus 3 is not. If we look here, I've seen that many students chose what? This one. Also as what? As a prime number, which is minus this. But this is not correct because the absolute value of minus 51 is 51. We can write 51 as 3 times what? 17. So you see, it means it has more than one factor. It means 3 is a factor, 17 is a factor, then itself is also a factor. So this 51 is not included here. So it means we have only one prime number. And prime numbers cannot be negative, right? This is minus 3. So we cannot choose the cube root of minus 27 as well. Then for rational number, there are so many. This is a rational number. This is rational. So 1.14 bar because of the repetition, right? Then every integer is a rational number. So this is also a rational number. The cube root of is also a rational number. Remember, a rational number is any number you can write in the form of a over b, right? Where a and b are what? Integers. And b is not equals to 0. So pi over 4 is not a rational number because pi itself is not an integer. But 0 over 5 is rational. 22 over 7 is rational. So what else? This one is also rational. So this is rational, this is rational, this is also rational, this is also rational. Why? This is rational because it's terminating. You can write this as what? 3 1 4 2 2 4 1 over how many zeros? 1 1 2 3 4 5 6, which is 10 raised to the power 6. So it means that it's a rational number. Okay. Then what else again? Um, we also have the absolute value of 51. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Yes. So I think these are all the rational numbers in the sets. Then irrational numbers. What are the irrational numbers? Clearly you can see that this one, pi over 4, is irrational. This is also irrational. The cube root of what? Minus over what? Over 8. Why is it irrational? It's irrational because of the numerator. If you look at this, let me rewrite this. This you can write as what? Cube root of 7 over cube root of 8. So this is cube root of minus 7. The cube root of 8 is nice, which is 2. But look at the numerator. The numerator is still irrational. So everything becomes irrational. Then we have, what else again? This one. This one is also irrational because it is what? It is non-repeating and non-terminating. So this is 0.2346925 dot dot. So you see, this is not repeating and it's also non-terminating. And that is the definition of what? Irrational numbers. Then finally we have the multiplicative inverse of minus 1 over 3. It's simply what? It's simply the cube root of what? Minus 27, right? Which is this one here. Because we know that the cube root of minus 27 is minus 3, right? And if you multiply 1 over 3 times minus 3, it's going to give you 1. So it means that this is the multiplicative inverse of this one. So we took the cube root of minus 27 from where? From the list, from your A. This is the A here. Is an element of A, so we can pick it directly. All right. So now let's go to this question that has to do with absolute value. Let's change the pen now. So this is saying that if x is less than 1, we want to write this expression without what? Just let's say without the absolute value. So what do we do here? You just need to choose a value. For example, this means from minus infinity to minus 1, open. So you can choose any number here. Say x is equals to minus 2, so that you can know the quantity in here. This is going to be minus. Now, if you put here minus 2 minus 1, it means you have a negative number. Please don't forget that here you have two absolute value. There is a bigger absolute value here. We have a bigger absolute value here. So these are two absolute values here. So take note. All right. So now if x is minus 2, minus 2 times 2 is going to be plus. And here x is minus, so here is going to be minus. So now, since x is minus, and we know that if you have absolute value of x, it's going to be x if x is what? Non-negative, and it is minus x if x is what? Less than 0. So here, since x is less than 0, this will just be minus x plus. Now let's keep this bigger absolute value and finish with the inner one. The inner one, since we have x minus 1 is negative, then it means we are going to have also minus x minus 1. Then this minus is here. Then to deal with this one, you see that here it's positive, because if x is less than 0, since it's positive, we will use this definition. It means the absolute value of x will just be x. We don't need to add negative. So it means we will have minus 2x. So minus 2x, remember, is the what? Is the quantity inside the smaller absolute value. It will come out just the way it is without adding any negative, since here is positive. Then we close the absolute value. Then this is plus. Here, since this is minus, it's just going to become minus x over what? 2x. So this is minus x plus, here will be minus x plus 1. Then this minus and this minus becomes plus 2x. Then this is x divided by 2x. It's just going to be minus half, because x will cancel half. Plus minus becomes minus. And this is minus x plus, here will be minus x plus 2x will be x. So you have x plus 1 minus half. But don't forget, we are still using this condition. X is minus 2. If you add minus 2 here, minus 2 plus 1 will still be minus. So it means to remove this outer absolute value, you need another minus. So here we have minus x plus, then you need to bring this minus down. So you have x plus 1, then minus what? Minus half. So this will be minus x. This will be here. This is plus. Plus minus is minus. So you just have minus x plus 1 minus half. And this will be minus x minus 1 minus half. So this will be minus 2x minus 3 over 2. Because minus x is what? Minus 2x. Minus 1 minus half is minus 3 over 2. And that is it. All right. So for this question, question number 3, you have a, b, and you want to find the distance between what? Between a and what? And b. So you just need to simplify. This is a. So this you can write it as 2 over 3 divided by 2 minus, this is just 2. This is 1 minus 3, which you can write as 3 over 3 minus 1 over 3. Now, many students make a mistake here. This is a fraction, like a compound fraction. This will become 2 over 3 times, this is 2 over 1. So it becomes 1 over 2. But many students do changing division to multiplication. They wrote this as 2 over 3 times 2 over 1. No, it's going to be times 1 over 2. So you have this here, minus. Here is going to be 2 over what? 2 over 3 as well, because you have 3 minus this. So your A is going to be what? If you look at this clearly, you can cancel out actually. This 2 will cancel this 2. So you have just 1 over 3 from here. Minus, okay, let's leave it 1 over 3 for now. This, you do the same thing. This becomes 2 over what? 1. Now times, this will become 3 over 2. Is it? This becomes 3 over 2. And what do we have? This is simply 1 over 3 minus, this will just become minus 3. Is that okay? Because this can go with this. You have, so what is A? Here you can multiply this 3 by 3. So that you have becomes 1 minus 9 over 3. And A is simply minus 8 over 3. Yeah, you can do it more faster. You don't have to do. Now for B, this is scientific notation, so you can convert it. This will be, you move the 0, 1, 2, 3. So this is 2.3 times 10 raised to power minus 3, because it's a small number and we are moving from left to right, right? So this is, but now we still have times 10 raised to power minus 2 over, this is 6.9 times 10 raised to power minus 5. And what is B? This is simply 2.3 times 10 raised to power minus 3 minus 2 will be minus 5. then you have 6.9 times 10 raised to the power minus 5. So B is this, you can write it as 2.3 over 6.9 times, this will be minus 5. This can go up to become plus 5. So 2.3, 1.6.9, you see that this is nothing but 1 over 3 times 10 raised to the power 0. So B is simply 1 over 3. All right. Here, how do I get 3 down? This is 2.3. 2.3. So you have 2.3 over what? 6.9. You can shift the point 1 so that you have just 23 over 69. And this is nothing but 1 over 3. So to find the distance between A and B, we use our formula is what? The absolute value of B minus A, or absolute value of A minus B. This will be absolute value of 1 over 3 minus 8 over 3. And this is just 1 over 3 plus 8 over 3. This is going to be what? 9 over 3. So the distance is what? Is 3. All right, for the next question, it involves sets. Here we said A is what? Is x, such that x is what? Is an odd integer. So this is very important. It's an integer, but the integer has to be very odd. It has to be odd. Now, this will give you minus 6 is not involved. So number line, if you have minus 6, what is the next one? Minus 5, minus 4. These are the integers. Minus 3, minus 2, minus 1. 0, 1, 2, 3, and what? 4. These are all the integers that we have. But we need the what? The odd one. So the odd one starts from minus 5 is odd. The next one is going to be even, so this is not. So we have from minus 5. The next integer is odd integer is minus 3. Then we have minus 2 is even. Then we have minus 1. You see, 0 is what? 0 is even, so you cannot take it. Then we have 1, which is also odd. Then finally we have 3. So just you know that between two integers, you always have what? Even. One is even, one is odd. Then it keeps changing in that manner. So here you can see that minus 6 is even, but minus 5 is odd. Minus 4 is even. Minus 3 is odd. Minus 2 is even. Minus 1 is odd. 0 is even. 1 is what? 1 is odd, and continuously. So this is our set A. Set B is already given specifically, so we don't have to worry about set B. Set C is very important. X is a positive integer, not just integer. It's positive even whole number. So, but it has to be less than 8. So what are the whole number less than 8? You might want to start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and what? 7, right? Now, these are the whole number less than what? 8. But we need the ones that are positive and what? Even. So 0 is even, but it's not positive, so you cannot take it. 1 is odd, you cannot take it. You can take 2, we cannot take 3, we can take 4, and we can take 6, because these are the ones that are what? Even and also positive. So I hope that is clear. We cannot take 0 because 0 is what? 0 is a whole number. It's even, but it's not positive. So it means this set is only what? So it means our x, let me, so it means x can only be 2, 4, and what? 6. But if you look at the set C is not asking for x. It's asking for what? Y. And what is y? Is the absolute value of x minus 1. So it's going to be, the first element will be absolute value of 2 minus 1, absolute value of 4 minus 1, then absolute value of 6 minus 1. And this is nothing but what? 1, this is 3, and this is 5. So the C is just going to be 1, 3, and what? And 5. This is set C. Then we need A union C. So what is A union C? A union C will be every element that is in what? Is in A or in what? In C. So it means we're just going to combine all the elements in both A. So this is minus 5, minus 3, minus 1, 1, 3. These are all coming from A. But if you look at C, C has an additional element that is not in A, 5, right? So it means we need to add that 5 also to the set A union C. So we have A union C will be this. All right. Then we need to now find A union C intersection B. It means the elements that are in where? You need the elements that are in both A union C and B. So in other words, let me write it this way. So what it means is that you need this set, you want to intersect it with B, which is 0, 1, 6, and what? 7. And if you look here, you will see that only one element is common to both because we are doing intersection. So this intersection is just going to be a singleton set, which has only one. And we're done. All right. So let's answer one more question, which was also part of the quiz for one of my sections. It says, if x is not equals to 0, y is not equals to 0, you want to evaluate this in terms of. So for this question, what do we need to do? We can solve this just by using the laws of exponents. This is 9x to power 8. Don't forget that the 9 is on its own. On its own, it has no power. This power will be x to power minus 8. And this will be y to power what? 2. Here we're just using the fact that if you have xab, this is just xa times b. We're using it for each of these terms here. So the same thing here. For the second, here you have to be a little bit careful because this is minus 2. So you could write this as minus 2 to power minus 2. Then this will be x to power what? 8. Because you have minus 4 times minus 2. Then divide by, this will be 2 to power minus 2 in the denominator and y to power minus 8. Then you can see clearly from the numerator that you can add the powers of x. Minus 8 and 8 will go. Then you have y square. This is the same thing as what? Over. Here you can have this 8, which is minus here, can come up. So that just becomes this. But don't forget that here you have in the denominator, you still have, you can write this as 1 to power 2 by 2. Okay, then we need to account for this one here, which can also go down. If it goes down, what will it become? It will become times what? Just minus 2 to power what? To power 2. Okay, now this is simply 9x to power 0. This will become y to power 10 because you have 2 plus 8 over, this is 1 over 4 times 4 because you have minus 2 to power 2. And this is simply 9x to power 0, y to power 10. 1 over 4 times 1 over 4 is going to be 1. So this is just the answer. Now, you need to compare this and what we have here. If you compare these two, you can see that m is nothing but 9. A is what? 0. B is what? 10. So m plus A plus B is nothing but 9 plus 0 plus 10, which is 19. All right. So this one this is just one way of solving it. There are other ways you can use, which might even be faster. All right. So let me explain this once again. Here you have minus 2. So minus 2, you have to go with the minus 2. So it's the minus 2 is going to be minus 2 to the power minus 2. Then you can take it down so that the minus can go. So we have 2. So you see that the negative will not survive. The negative will cancel out because you have minus 2 square. And this is 2 to the power minus 2, which is just 1 over 2 squared. That's why we have 1 over 4. So I hope this video, every question is clearly solved. If you have any question or you see anything that you feel is not clear, feel free to write it in the comment section. And do not forget to like the video. And also, if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, kindly do that and as well share with your friends. Thank you for watching.